Hi there, my name's Rachel. I'm from Mindful Therapies, and I think it is day 37 of the current lockdown. And so I'm here to tell you that you are still not alone. One of the things about lockdown that I think is the most challenging for most of us is that we're not able to be in contact with one another, and when we are in contact with one another, other than our household and our bubble, we have to stay 2 meters apart. And we are lacking skin to skin contact. We are lacking the ability to give our friends a hug or hold hands with a partner that we're not living with, or put our arms around someone that we care about. And so we're lacking skin to skin contact. And skin to skin contact releases a hormone called oxytocin. It's the hormone that's released when a baby's born and is placed in its mother's arms. It's the hormone that's released when you shake hands. Remember shaking hands? Can you imagine doing that again? It's the hormone that's released when we have sex, when we have a hug, anything that involves skin to skin contact. But so we're kind of lacking in that, and it's a hormone that makes us feel very kind of safe and fuzzy, and it's a hormone that's really important for our mental health and well-being. So the bad news is we're not getting enough of it because we're not in contact at the moment. The good news is that we don't necessarily need other people to have oxytocin, because our brains don't know the difference between that and a hug from somebody else. So our brains don't know the difference between feeling that contact from ourselves and from someone else. So that takes me on to the next thing, which is we're washing our hands a lot. We're sanitizing our hands a lot. And I know a lot of people, particularly people who are not able to work from home and therefore have to sanitize their hands a lot, they're really noticing that kind of chapped, horrible feeling that they're getting in their hands. I was noticing in the supermarket, you know, every time someone handles cash, they're washing their hands in between. And that's potentially quite a lot. I mean, I know a lot of people use cards, but not everyone does, and I don't think everyone should have to. So there's this kind of constant in between every customer sanitising your hands. So I have some hand cream, and quite often at New Year I set myself a resolution to use moisturiser more often. You might notice that I've moisturised my face, which is why I'm a little bit shiny this morning. But quite often I'll acquire moisturisers and hand creams and body lotions, and they just kind of hang around and I don't get around to using them. This one is from a hotel that I stayed in, I think, getting on for 3 years ago. So it's probably, yeah, it does say on it 12-month expiry, but I think it should be fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to moisturise my hands in a mindful way, and I would really encourage you to do the same. So, opening. Actually, no, before we even open it, just looking at, let's see it as a full mindful experience, looking at the bottle. Maybe noticing if there's anything about the bottle that you hadn't noticed before. So I had noticed that the writing is written in German, because I got it from Germany. I noticed all of the text, but I didn't notice that there was a flower on the side. I hadn't particularly thought about it. I'm noticing that it's not just written in German, there are other languages on the back. I'm noticing that it's quite cold to the touch. And I'm going to see if there's a smell. very subtle smell. And then I'm just going to squeeze some into my hand. And notice all of that, those hand movements that you take for granted, but just to screw a cap on. It's quite an intricate movement, isn't it? So I now have a little bit of hand cream. And I'm just noticing how it feels to rub that cream into my hands. So noticing the sensations in my thumbs, and my fingers, noticing the sounds. So we see lots of signs explaining how to wash your hands, and it's like putting the bottoms of the hands together and the palms, and then paying attention to the backs of the hands. And it becomes something that is very much about hygiene and germs and all of that. But what about if we do that with some cream? And it's about nourishing ourselves. It's about feeling the sensations. So I'm noticing the cream starting to soak in, and how my hands feel now. And essentially it's a way of kind of massaging as well, because a lot of us, especially if we're working from home, I spend a lot of time typing. We might have aches in the hands. So paying our hands some attention. So this is about self-care, it's about awareness, it's about kindness, and it's about oxytocin. And because it takes a little while to soak in, it's also about just taking a little bit of time out, because you don't want to be going straight into doing stuff with slightly sticky hands. So we could just sit for a little while, 30 seconds, a minute, just feeling the effects of having paid ourselves some attention. So just notice how much time you're spending sanitizing and washing your hands, and just see if you can add in just that little bit of kindness, maybe once a day, and use some moisturizer, use some hand lotion, and just give yourself that contact. So I'll be back tomorrow with something else. And remember, you're still not alone. Bye.